That's the strategy. You know, the man of God want to have sex with you. What he does is that, so I mean, knocking. So with the knocking, they know that it's not marriage. It's just an intention, trying to make it known to the girl's family that look, I'm interested.
Okay, all right.
Then they allow them to stay together. Then sex takes place. Then later on, the man of God comes around to say that, oh, I've prayed and spiritually I don't see as being compatible. So when there is knocking, it's not marriage.
So 6 months after the knocking, we came, 2 families came together, my representatives, we presented gifts and everything. At that level, is that a marriage?
Yes. Once you make a proposal, the man's family or man make a proposal to the woman, the family meets, they decide on the conditions under which you contract this marriage. The payment, dowries, and everything is done.
Okay.
Once it's done according to your tradition or the woman's tradition, then that's marriage.
At that level, I remember when we finished that event, I said I was taking the woman home, and her aunties said, I have to wait for the church. I can't take her home. And I protested to my father-in-law, and he said, no, you can take the woman home. You've married her. Was he right?
He was wrong. She was wrong because, you see, the marriage took place immediately you finish with the customary one.
Okay.
The church one is just a ceremony. It comes in two forms. At times after the customary, you can go to church and receive only the blessings.
Okay.
And the blessing is not the marriage. The blessing is not the marriage.
So at the traditional
level, that is where the marriage took place. Where both families decide to contract that marriage. Take to consideration, that's the payments and all those things that they demanded, and you meet those requirements. Okay. That is the proper marriage.
At that level, is it potentially polygamous?
Yes, it's potentially polygamous because under our law, every customary marriage is polygamous in nature, meaning the man can marry 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 1,000. There's no limit. But the woman cannot. Women are prohibited from marrying more men, but men are allowed to marry more women.
So at that level, if I hadn't gone to the church for the Christian thing and had the
the church rule is just ceremonial. The church comes in when you decide to do the ordinance marriage. When now you have moved from customary, you are now converting your customary marriage into an ordinance. That is where now you go through the proper ordinance procedure, where you go and then notify the registrar general. There's a band, there's an announcement. Then there are conditions where you go and then sign under the ordinance certificate.
So that certificate I signed when we did the church thing, when was that?
That is the ordinance marriage. Is the certificate where the registrar general, the registrar of marriage has the power to do the registration, but they delegate some to the churches.
So they come to the church.
So the churches go in for some of these marriage forms, and then they try to do what the registrar of marriage have to do.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, when you decide to do the ordinance marriage, that is where the church comes in to provide the place of worship, provide the minister who is licensed to do so, and then ensure that you go through the.
Charlie, don't be easy. This guy can let you know where you stand, whether you're a married man or single. Charlie, could you believe? He said, if you leak stuff, you cry, you're a criminal. The woman can sue you. Charlie, listen to this man was very emotional and I feel like marrying is now a contract. Charlie, what do you think? What do you think? Charlie, you know something. Let's watch this video.
Marriage ordinance procedure to ensure that you have a monogamous marriage.
Does every church wedding marriage have to have the signature at the end certificate?
It is an intention. You see, you can decide that you have your customary marriage, then you go to church and do the blessing without necessarily going through the signing.
Okay, but it means you can still be polygamous, or the church doesn't allow you to be polygamous.
You'll be polygamous because your marriage is customary. The church just came in to bless. It's like once you do the customary, the pastor can come and then bless that marriage, but you have already invited the gods.
Okay.
You know, by point of libation, you have invited God to witness. So, unless you decide to do the ordinance, that's where the church decide to bring in another procedure where they showcase your marriage to the world. That it's an ordinance marriage. Therefore, you are no more under the customary law marriage, but now you have become a monogamous, meaning your marriage is one man, one wife. That's all.
Can you do an ordinance marriage without a customary marriage in Ghana?
Yeah, in law, you can. In law, you can. Because you see, when it comes to ordinance marriage, you don't need the parental consent for you to marry. When it comes to ordinance, when it comes to customary marriage, parental consent and the family consent is so crucial. But when it comes to the ordinance, you can, all that they need is witnesses. So you can decide that, look, you met a woman you want to marry. Now the issue is that you try to tell your dad, your dad says no. You tell your mother says no. None of the family member is interested. In fact, you can go ahead to the registrar general. All that they need is 2 witnesses from the man's side. So you can go and bring your friend or somebody, and then the woman too brings 2 witnesses, and then you sign. So with the ordinary marriage, they need witnesses.
I know one colleague of mine who went to church for 6:30 mass. By 9 o'clock, she was in the office and she was married. And at the 6:30 mass, they had 2 witnesses each.
Yes,
a Catholic marriage.
That is
so. That's ordinance.
That is ordinance.
Okay.
Ordinance for you, you don't need parental consent. You know, the parental consent and the ordinary is a blessing. You are seeking the blessings of your parents. So when it comes to ordinance, your parental consent is not important than all that you are looking for the blessings from your family.
Is it the colonial people who brought in the ordinance?
It's the British who brought. Yes, the ordinance marriage is a common law marriage. You know, these we inherited the British style of administration and their law. And the British, they don't believe in this external family. They believe in individualism. You know, when 2 people decide to marry, why should the family come in? It's only in Africa and this part of our world where we believe that the family play a very good role. So when it comes to customary law, the family, they will tell you that the marriage is between families. It's not between the individuals. But when it comes to the ordinance, the marriage is between the individuals, but not families.
Let me just ask this question again. So is it important to register a customary marriage?
Yeah, for evidential purpose. You know, when you register a customary marriage, it gives what we call conclusive evidence that you are married. You know, customary marriage is more or less oral. We don't document customary marriage. You know, the people meet. These days that modernity done, we have videos and this thing. But first, 2 people just meet, 2 family meets, and there's no document. There's no video evidence. There's no written document. So it's oral. Now what happens when all those the witnesses die? Now it comes to a time where when you are claiming that is my husband, then they said there's the evidence. So you are saying that, look, under the PNDC 111, where issue of the husband or the wife, the spouse become critical, because in sharing of property, we want to ensure that we are giving a portion of the estate to the legally married spouse. That is where registration comes in to create for avoidance of doubt, to ensure that at the end of the day, those who are legally married, if it is not under the customary law, or if it is monogamous, the evidence is there. Because you have the certificate. And then a copy is an extra general. But with the customary, most of the times we don't have any documents.
So how do you? What's the process of registering?
You just apply. Marriage? You know, you do your traditional marriage without the presence of the registrar general. Then all that you do is to go and apply. In application, you swear affidavit that the 2 of you are married, and under this condition, your name, the place you married, your status, and then your parents, and then you bring your parents as witness. They also file what you call substitute declaration, declaring to the registrar that, look, they were there, they gave their consent, the family were there. Based on that, you make some small fee, then the marriage is published for 21 days. They give the public notice that A and B has come before them, and they are saying that, look, they are married. They married on this day, this time, customarily. Therefore, if you have any objection,
Then come forward.
Come forward. If you don't have any objection, after 21 days, then they issued the customary marriage certificate.
Okay. What happens if the man who customarily marries maybe this year, after 2 years wants to marry a second wife? What does he do?
You go ahead.
And then come and register again?
Yes.
That now there are two?
Yes. They will welcome as many, because under the customary law, you can marry as many. That's why there are a lot of men. Statistically, these days, they don't want this ordinance.
Okay.
Because to avoid side chick saga,
okay,
then go the customary way, so that you have more side chicks promoted to wives.
And you just recite
it.
Let's talk about Islamic marriage now, because that limits you to 4 women. Is that
yes,
correct?
Islamic marriage too is critical. It limits you to 4. But at the same time, their law requires that when you want to marry, you also don't need parental consent, but you need witnesses.
Okay.
So 2 men to witness your marriage, and then when it comes to women, you need 2 women and 1 man. So when it comes to 2 men witnesses, you need 2. But when it comes to the witnesses for the women are not so stronger like men. So with 2 women, you need another 1.
Okay.
Making 3.
Okay. So in total, 5 witnesses.
No.
2 for the man?
Yes.
3 for the woman?
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow